In small-town Iowa, finding variety in local restaurants can be challenging. Without the population of the bigger city, it becomes almost impossible to lure in exciting new cuisine. That's where Iowa's Best Bite Restaurant Challenge comes in. The organization's goal is to connect great restaurateurs with rural Iowa communities. 60% of new restaurants close down in the first 3 years. Iowa's Best Bite joins forces with local businesses to create a prize and incentive package that will give one prospective restaurateur the resources needed to help beat those odds. Contestants from all over the United States will compete in head-to-head competition to impress a panel of judges. They'll pitch an original restaurant concept, lay out detailed financial plans, and construct a 4-course meal to prove they've got what it takes to be Iowa's best restaurateur. This year, Iowa's Best Bite has landed in Oskaloosa, Iowa, a rural city 60 miles east of Des Moines. Oskaloosa is known for its historic downtown, state-of-the-art NAIA football stadium, Lacey Sports Complex, William Penn University, George Daly Auditorium, 45 holes of golf, a 13-mile recreational trail, MCG high-speed fiber internet service, and international companies like Musco Sports Lighting, Oskaloosa Food Products, Kelderman Manufacturing, and Clow Valve. The Best Bite finalists will be battling it out for a chance to reconcept Oskaloosa's former Doc Salami's restaurant. Nestled beside one of Iowa's beautiful destination golf courses at Oskaloosa Golf, this location boasts a seating capacity of 286 guests. There's a full bar, meeting room, party room, and even an outdoor patio and stage for entertainment events. Now, 3 restaurateurs must prove they have what it takes to turn this location around and become the next Iowa's Best Bite winner. Welcome to Iowa's Best Bite Restaurant Challenge. I'm your host, Brian Schultz. Before we begin, let's meet our judges. Blair Van Zetten. Blair is president of Oskaloosa Food Products and has insight on what the business community is looking for a restaurant in Oskaloosa. Ruthie Rogers. Ruthie's a local food celebrity with her own cooking show. She frequently hosts dinner parties, hosting guests from around the world because of a lack of dining options in Oskaloosa, so her insight is going to be really critical for you. Jim Montanaro. Jim is one of Iowa's most successful restaurateurs. He owns Iowa City restaurants Joseph's, Mondo's, Saloon, Giovanni's, and Hot House Yoga. So Jim obviously knows what it takes to run a successful business. And we also have Frank Hansen. Frank is on the board of Oskaloosa Golf, so he represents who would be your landlord. Frank is also general manager of MCG here in town, and he has extensive restaurant background. Good morning, judges.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
This semifinal round will focus on the nuts and bolts of running a restaurant in Oskaloosa. While cooking is important, none of it succeeds without a solid business plan. You've had a chance to review the candidate's experience, plans, menus, and overall concept. Each candidate will make a 10-minute pitch. You will then have 50 minutes to ask them questions to determine if they have what it takes to run a restaurant in Oskaloosa. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Let's get started.
The variety of food that we plan on offering will really set us apart from the restaurants that are already here. And what we're trying to do is figure out how we can fit all of them in one menu. And I think that's an awesome challenge and exciting for me.
We all respect each other's niche in the big picture. And I think that's what's going to make it really successful.
I actually came back last year or 2 years ago. My mom was sick, and I came back here to spend the remainder of her time with her. And when she passed away in 2011, she was a huge person in contests, and honestly, the first Iowa's Best Bite started right afterwards. It was kind of like, oh, this is a sign from my mom. Like, she wants me to enter. I mean, why else would there be a contest? Like, a few months after that, when I didn't get it, I realized that there's more that I needed to do. We needed a team. We need that effort to going forward. This is the year, and we need to team up.
Judges, meet team on the green.
Chef Pam, what gets you excited about this location?
I realized that the potential here at this location was what excited me the most. if I can create good food and awesome food and experience and atmosphere, then people should stay put. Nobody wants to drive anywhere to eat, and really creating a menu that fits Oskaloosa, also fits my flavors and our flavors, our international flavors, has been really an amazing and fun time. So that's originally.
So when I see that kitchen, and when I come in this building and I see the infrastructure of the potential of a wedding or some other event, the first thing that I think about is parking. Did you look at parking? Do you think you have adequate parking here? Because you don't. At least the parking that I have adjacent to this building is not going to be the amount of parking you're going to need if you have, say, a wedding for 150 or 200 people. You think you have adequate parking here? Because you don't. At least the parking that I have adjacent to this building is not going to be the amount of parking you're going to need if you have, say, a wedding for 150 or 200 people. And then when I asked you about that kitchen, are you anticipating that this building will close if you have a wedding? Because I don't know how you're going to set up out of that kitchen to do a wedding service as well as food service in here.
And I would say if you look at our business plan for year one, we didn't have a whole lot of sales and revenue from that type of stuff because, you know, we weren't anticipating for events.
How much time will all four of you be here if you're given this restaurant when it opens?
That's a great question. I think for me, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice the moment I find out.
So Pam is the only one that's going to relocate to Oskaloosa. And you will be relocating.
Well,
You're not relocating. Well, he might if I kick him out, but that's a completely different story.
I guess we need to talk.
Yeah. But you're not.
So I have my own design build firm, so I would obviously free my my calendar, my schedule, so I could help do the startup piece.
Why do you want to come to Oskaloosa? Why not open a restaurant in the morning?
This is a unique location. I mean, had
Right.
this been in another town on a street,
Yeah.
I don't know that we'd be as excited. I mean, the fact that there are opportunities for events, whether or not we can fully do those, I think that's something to be worked through.
And I think in Des Moines, people have options. If you want Chinese, you have 16 options. If you want Mexican, you have 16 options. In a smaller town, you do not have that. And being able to create an entire brand, an entire destination is exciting.
So are all four of you willing to write a check every month to fund the restaurant if it doesn't come out of the chute making money? So if each person had to write a check for $2,000 a month for 6 months, do you feel comfortable doing that?
We had put into our business plan what we felt comfortable, and that was the original investment.
We did take out, per our business plan, a certain amount of small business loan to kind of help get started.
Are you comfortable writing the checks?
I think it depends on the size of the checks, but
Well, I just said if it was $2,000 per person, if you had to write a check for 6 months of $2,000 a month to continue the dream because you believed that the dream would come down the road, would you be willing to write a check for $12,000?
maybe this is the one where my wife kicks me out of the house. But my answer would be yes. I mean, I know we have enough built up where we would be able to do such a thing. We would need to plan
We are
for it.
invested in this. I mean, if we win, we are invested, and we would like to do whatever it takes to make it successful. Obviously, we, have limitations. We're not made of money, or else, who
We
knows?
would have opened our restaurant.
But we also realize that we have a large network of investors, and we've talked about investors. I guess if it came down to it, I write the check.
Well, because it might.
Why don't you folks come on here and exit through the exit door, just right around here would be good. All right, that was a great presentation. Judges, really quickly, maybe an initial thought or two?
I think they have some really good ideas as far as bringing new food and new ideas and fresh ideas and different ideas than what we have in Oskaloosa.
What kind of struck me is that you had two groups here. You had both failures from last year's try, and they've combined forces, so their passion is still here. You know, they learned what their mistakes were, they got together to form another team and try again. So, you know, sometimes you pack your bags and go home. They still want to continue.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. All right, judges, meet Team Grasshoppers. This is Chef Marty McFerrin-Raptis.
Hi everybody, there are a lot of people here in Oskaloosa who know me or have lived here and moved away. I have lived in Oskaloosa and I believe that I know what Oskaloosa wants. I believe that Oskaloosa wants to have good food at a great value, and I believe that I'm in a position to present that better than the other candidates. There are places you can go for a Sunday brunch, but not much of a choice. So I think that that's something that's going to give me a little bit of a competitive edge here. But my impression is I took Oski by storm, and that they're going to be very proud to have an Oski native come back home.
So tell me what your vision is for Grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers. Well, you see, when I heard about this contest, it was very easy for me to visualize this. First of all, I'm a photographer, and so I am very visual. And so, and I was in town visiting friends and went out for breakfast, and it was about 3 days after the contest was announced, and my friend said, you know, they're having this contest. Had you heard about it? And I hadn't. And I found out that it was this property. And immediately, I'm thinking, okay, because I already know Oskaloosa and I know what the gap is, and I don't have the capital, I don't have the resources to be able to start something up of my own, but I go into a place and I start dreaming. My parents were members of the country club when I lived here.
I didn't get anything out of that wandering of what you would do here.
What would I do
Yeah,
here?
what we really want to know is what you're going to do with food. At least I do.
Okay, so I was talking about the look. Okay, the food. You know, I come from a family of terrific cooks. And so what I vision on my menu is a lot of the classic types of food that people really don't cook anymore at home. So that for a Sunday brunch, they can have the meatloaf and mashed potatoes and gravy that you're not going to get if you're going to McDonald's for dinner. And I know on my video I was talking about all-you-can-eat fried catfish and chicken, but do these things with a flair that brings it a little more up to date.
Looking at your menu, I don't see a lot of difference than like maybe what Tasso's.
No, it's not. You're right. It's not.
So how are you going to draw people out here? How are you going to sell yourself that this is better than going to Tasso's, where everything is?
That's a good question. This was just a rough thumbnail sketch. I anticipate getting with the people who own the golf course and saying, what would you like to see on here? So keeping the menu pretty streamlined, and that's why having the really great specials every night and not have it set. There's over a month's worth of specials there, and that's not even dipping into the magazines coming up with new stuff.
Here's what I know. 80% of the people that go out to eat judge food by two flavor profiles, salt and sugar. That's why national chains do the business that they do, because 80% of the people that go out to eat can't differentiate the palate. The independent restaurateur, such as what you are, has to diversify that palate with different kinds of flavor profiles, so that the other 20% of the people that go out to eat, like the people at this table, we can differentiate the difference between your food and a chain. And I get concerned that you're trying to tell us what we want to hear in some instances, and really what it comes down to, are you able to really do what it takes to put those other guys out of business? That's what I'm looking for.
I think that there's a niche, and I think that I can be the best in the niche that I'm carving out for myself.
And is that fried chicken and meatloaf all you can eat?
In Oskaloosa, we have people who love meat and potatoes, and we have people who have a decent amount of money, who have really deep pockets, and even if they could afford to eat at the best restaurant in Chicago or Des Moines or Washington, D.C., they're still going to look for the value when they can find it.
All right. Well, Marty, thank you. Great presentation. We appreciate it. Marty's passionate about what she stands for. What'd you like that you heard, Frank?
Her excitement about the opportunity here, and then appreciate all her hard work she put into this. She seemed to work really hard at it.
Jim, do you think she was absorbing some of the lessons you're trying to impart?
I just think it's a bigger arena than what she thinks. I think that from the back to the front to the hiring, I think she has an understanding, but the depth of the understanding is what concerns me.
Up next, Team Rainmaker. Don't miss it. Well, judges, meet Team Rainmaker. This is Christopher and Chef Karen Ward.
Our philosophy is we want anyone in Oskaloosa should be able to come here and have something that they like.
And I think in today's world, so non-manufactured food, you got a nice handmade patty, hamburger patty, homemade biscuits.
We know stuff about the last few years of Oskaloosa news, and we know everything about our competitors, and we know all the reviews our competitors would be getting. I was sitting at my desk and I felt a lump on my breast, and it turned out that it was breast cancer, and that I had a 49% chance of survival.
It makes you reevaluate everything in your life. And there's an odd thing that I don't think they tell cancer patients. When they survive, you get this feeling like,
now what?
What the hell do I do now?
But really what came out of it was I realized that sometimes this is what you get. This is the hand you're dealt. And the next hand that I get, whatever it is, maybe it'll be, I'll get Rainmaker, and that'll be my next hand. It's an interesting hand.
So you're going to be the chef.
No.
Who's
I'm
going to be the chef?
executive.
What are you going to be?
He's the general manager, I'm the executive chef.
You'd be the menu planner?
I would be planning the menus, the pricing, and making sure that the food, the sous chef will be skilled, and I would work with the sous chef to make sure that we're coming up with the right dish is being prepared the right way, and then that would filter down to the cooks, because there are cooks involved. I have quite a large staff actually in my plan.
And the food cost that you want to run at this restaurant is?
About 35%. I'd like to be 35. It's probably going to be 40, but I'd like to be 35.
Okay. With a price point of what?
The price points I'd like to see is an average meal is $15. A special meal is going to be more than that, and special would be the prime rib, or if we do depending on the salmon. If the salmon is a premium salmon, it's going to be a premium price.
Christopher and Karen, let me ask you one question. Since my wife is from Syracuse, New York, right in your old neighborhood, why in God's name are you going to want to move to Oskaloosa, Iowa? So even if you have, and I think you got a great business plan, I love your presentation, but I'm worried about your families and all of that. How's that all going to intermingle when they're out there and you're here?
Well, I personally lived in Tulsa, Kalamazoo, Long Island, many places. I always challenge to find someplace new and exciting. I kind of like the small town feel here, but we still have the amenities, the high-speed internet and these things that we didn't have back in the day. That
Do you have enough capital to invest in this to start this with, or are you going to?
Our own capital?
Yep.
I would say our own capital is sweat equity. As far as bringing capital into it, that wasn't our intention to bring, 20,000, 100,000, or whatever.
What's the most important ingredient that you think seasons your dishes?
Love. No. Well, salt.
No, that's exactly right. It's salt.
Yeah, it's salt. And my last experience was in a senior's home, and trust me, salt is a crucial thing there. And fortunately, it's crucial in the negative, and that's what would upset the most people.
That stage in life, do you quit living to keep from dying?
Oh my gosh, but this
Give me the salt.
Yeah, and that's what was interesting to cook for them, because the most part they're getting, you think processed food that we get in little restaurants in your average, say, sports bar, the processed, the bag of food they throw into the fryer, you think that's bad. That's what I went into that job with, and I said that can't happen anymore. And the mandate was improve it so they stop complaining, because that's all they did was complain. And I brought in, believe it or not, Eggs Benedict. They fell in love with it. None of them had ever had it before. If you can get the flavors and get the texture, you've made yourself a friend. And that was the biggest challenge of my life, is to cook for people cook for a room of people who have had a lifetime experience of what they like and what they don't like, and were not really adventurous about anything. That was hard.
Did you make Eggs Benedict for a party of 50?
I did.
How'd you do that?
Well, we did it by doing the eggs. They didn't like the eggs underdone. Okay, this is seniors, right? They didn't want the eggs to be too runny. So what we did is we did the eggs light. We held them in water and took them out of the water to set it up, and put that on, and then put the egg, and then put the hollandaise in.
It worked.
It worked very well in that environment. Yeah, it worked very well.
So when you took the egg out of the ice or the water bath, how'd you heat it back up?
Well, no, we put it in warm water. It was fast. 50 meals in a senior is fast. I mean, they want that. They're running out of time, they say. So they want that food on the table right now. They say that, and they want that food on the table right now. And so it was a lunch.
I'm dying here.
It was a lunch. Don't be surprised. That's the kind of thing you hear. And that was the challenge that made it fun, is taking dishes that I liked and making them good for them.
Well, wonderful. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Get some quick initial thoughts here, judges. Jim, do you like husband and wife teams running restaurants? Is that something that you find attractive, or does it worry you? Or
Well, I think that it's fine, but one needs to be in the front and the other needs to be in the back. They don't work together, I find, in the same area.
Right. Blair, is sweat equity enough? In the competition, does that concern you that there may not be a personal investment involved? How do you feel about that?
Sweat equity obviously is a key to it, but reality says that when they open, if they don't make money for the first couple of months, sweat equity doesn't pay the bills. So somebody's got to pay those bills and come up with the capital to do that.
Thank you very much, judges. I know you have some deliberations to do, so we will meet up with you later. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Teams? Well, you've all worked very hard. Everybody's proud of you for what the work you've put in so far. It's been an amazing experience for us. But without further ado, here come the judges. You've all worked very hard to get here. Years of experience and hard work, plus the countless hours of research, creating and refining your plans. Unfortunately, only 2 of you get to move on. and compete for more than $153,000 in cash and prizes. But well done to all of you. Team on the green, congratulations, you're moving on. So come on over here and why don't you stand behind me. So that leaves us with two teams. Team Rainmaker, Team Grasshoppers. Only one of you gets to move on. Our second finalist is Team Rainmaker. Chef Marty, I'm very sorry. The judges were so impressed with what you did. Would you care to share a little bit about what this experience was like for you?
I have learned a lot about myself. And I went into this knowing that I was going to give 100%. And the growth has been phenomenal. And I am convinced that there's something that's going to develop, no matter what that may be. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Team Rainmaker won the toss and will present their meal first. The teams will have 2 hours to prepare a 4-course meal and then present their cuisine to 12 members of the Oskaloosa community as well as the judges. Chef Karen Ward and her husband Chris put the finishing touches on their meal as time ticks down.
Making it this far has been incredible.
If you're into this business, the opportunity to speak to people who are successful is, a lot of restaurants are not.
Oh yeah.
As someone who has successful multiple times is a great opportunity.
I would make changes. I mean, we've got core judges there with their business frame of mind. Please tell me how you do it. Be our mentor. When everything started coming together and all my numbers started to actually work, it wasn't just, oh, I'm gonna sell the best thing in town and make all the money. It was, can I sell this? To how many people must I sell this? How many people need to come through that door every week for me to stay afloat? That sort of thing. That was really important.
Fun. It's a total whirlwind to get this happen all of a sudden. To go to a business you've never really seen outside of a few stills. To look around, to see a different part of the states, meet a bunch of different people, and to meet these experts is actually very cool to see the crew and how the whole thing works. I'm happy whatever the outcome, because it's really been an enjoyable few days. It's the kind of memories you make that kind of stick with you. It's kind of a lot of fun. That's a prize, so.
Hi, welcome to Rainmaker. We decided to go fresh with our menu today because it's so summery out that I didn't really want to hit some winter flavors. I wanted to try to bring some summer in as well. We've also started you off a little early in the morning with it, but this is our signature, doesn't matter, does it? Our signature drink is called Summer Storm, and it's a layer of Midori melon liqueur. And if it's done right, we were a little pressured at the end, so it got a little mixed, but it has a beautiful layer on the bottom, and then the top is the fizzy water with vodka, and it's supposed to represent a summer storm at a golf course. Now the salad, I'm big on trends, and kale is actually a really big trend right now. So the salad is made with green and red kale, sweetened, because kale happens to have a bitterness to it. We've sweetened it with some currants and white balsamic vinegar in the dressing, and that's a pecorino cheese actually on it, not Parmesan. The entree is wild coho salmon. It has been prepared in a more Asian manner. The skin has been crisped. The idea is salmon skin is like the bacon of the sea. When you crisp it, it's actually quite nice. It's been scaled and crisped, and it's got it just has a really nice luscious flavor to it. And then the salmon is flipped, so it's seared on the back end as well. And I have just a Pinot Grigio to go along with that.
When desserts are desserts without being too sweet, that's what this one is. It's a nice balance.
And I like the yogurt on top instead of throwing the sweetness into the tang.
To me, the quinoa, I like it when it has the integrity to fall freely.
Yeah, that was the
rather
one
than
thing.
be clumpy, which is a technique of being able to let it. You got to take it out, let it cool down, and then you have to fluff it and agitate it so that it. Are you saying that meal that we had today would be 24 to 25?
Full-size meal, full-size
Okay,
meal.
well then let's get that. Okay, so that was what, 2-ounce portion of salmon?
Yeah, I would say 6.
5 to 6, I think it needs
Yes,
to
I could do the whole dinner. If that's 19, I can add on the salad and the pie easily for another $4 or $5 within that. If you're buying the whole dinner.
be. So take the approach of that dish at a 3 to 4 ounce piece of salmon. The starch has very little money in it that you can give more of, which is a filler. So again, now all of a sudden we're looking at a small plate version of that gets down into the $14.
14, 16,
And
yeah.
I'm sure that would feed everybody.
Yeah, 14, 16.
Yes, there you go.
Sure.
6-ounce portion at $25.
Yeah, but you see how I put it was you could do a half size.
I think it is enough anymore.
I think a 16
I think a
is-
4 ounce portion of salmon, a
Is good
small
enough.
plate, I think if it's presented properly,
Yeah.
the price point, she'll come once a
She'll
week.
come once a week.
Maybe twice a week. If all of a sudden you get that salmon, then it's on
Salmon one week and another thing another week or another time. Yeah.
Coming up next, Team on the Green presents their meals to the judges. While Rainmaker was presenting their food to the judges, Team on the Green was hard at it in the kitchen. Chef Pam Olds leads her team in the kitchen as they put the final touches on their meal. The 2-hour preparation time is almost up, and team member Shayna Bruce jumps in to help plate the appetizers.
We're open to suggestions, and I think the more feedback that we get, the better we will be as a team.
The more kind of events like this, I think are going to be huge to us being successful in the beginning and starting off on the right foot within the community and word of mouth.
And that's so important in a community, is to know who the people are that own the restaurant or that work at a restaurant. I mean, it's the community. So we have spent a lot of time working through problems, and we have, in my opinion, an amazing business plan. And I think knowing now in the heat of the battle how we work together is encouraging, but I think going forward, if we do not win, we have a strong foundation to jump into something else.
This is our second year of competing in the contest. So to me, it only speaks even greater to what we could do in the future.
Oh,
Hopefully
we're not
it's-
doing this again.
Hopefully it's here.
It would be
Hopefully
easier
it's in
just
here.
to open a restaurant than to compete in this crazy.
It feels like it, especially now that we have the
Crazy.
business plan and some of the team
Yeah.
down. I think that's one of the exciting
Yeah.
things about going forward with whatever we choose to do, whether as a team or whatnot. But we just are a lot smarter about stuff, and we had some great questions that I think helped to, point us in certain directions too.
Well, I see you wearing our on the green colors. So.
Oh, he had to turn off the camera.
Folks, this is Chef Pam Olds. She's going to just describe what you have out here and take it away, Chef.
Well, I got a little on me, but I actually turned out pretty good. Your first course is a risotto tot, and the inspiration behind that is everybody knows tater tots, right? I mean, they're classic American. And risotto, it's a little, nice. You go out to a nice dinner and it's risotto, but let's put it into a tot and fry it with some panko and an egg wash. Then I paired it with a marinara sauce that's homemade marinara and a pesto aioli. Your second course is roasted potatoes with their purple, yellow, and sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes go really well with pork, and so that's why it was an addition. So just like a medley, you got just steamed green beans, Your pork is a pork roulade, fancy name for roll, and it's stuffed with a cremini mushroom, and it has a trio of peppers in it. Then for dessert, you have a bread pudding with cranberries, and they've been soaked in rum chata sauce. I don't know if you guys are familiar with rum chata sauce. It's cinnamon delightfulness, and it's the sauce that's over it is actually a rum chata sauce. So you're getting a double whammy of that.
This dinner that you just served today,
Right.
what's the price point of that? What was your cost? And where did you source the food?
We source the food from Hy-Vee, everything from local Hy-Vee, and well, I don't want you to take our money back, but no, you know, I would say that a full-size pork, stuffed pork, just the entree would be around 14.
Would you be comfortable at dinner if it was somewhere between $10 and $20 for an entree? Yeah. I think that there is a golden nugget here that has to be tapped, and it's that patio. I think you can get people to come out here if your food is on, and we have the kitchen the way it needs to be. I think you can have that patio full every nice evening or even in the afternoon. We just need to do something about that view to the right. Outdoor dining is a big thing. Do you have it here in town? Is anybody prevalent with that?
Very limited.
Just here.
Not prime.
Boy, I'll tell you, you have something that everybody else is going to want if you cultivate it.
The judges make their final decision on who the Iowa's Best Bite winner will be. Next. Thank you, judges. I know that was incredibly difficult. About 12 weeks ago, Oskaloosa began a search for its newest restaurant, a place everyone can enjoy, a place that would make the community proud. Each team has spent countless hours preparing for this moment, and one of you is about to win a restaurant startup prize package worth $153,000 and have the chance to open Oskaloosa's newest restaurant. Without further ado, let's see how this unrolling goes. The winner is Put this on! Yeah, tiny apron. Congratulations. Team Rainmaker, I'm sure the judges like to share a couple comments with you, but I want to congratulate you. I know how quickly you developed the plan. And obviously, with the extended deliberations, it was a tough decision. So congratulations to everybody. Frank, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, you guys really grew on us over the couple days we got to know you, and really enjoyed having you here. And the plan you put in front of us and the food was really good. And appreciate all the hard work. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well.
We did very much.
Great.
It was a great experience, actually.
Come back and visit us anytime.
Well, I hope I'm invited back for the grand opening. I need a place to stay.
Sure.
We've got room.
Blair?
Yeah, I would like to say thank you. I thought your business plan was very well put together. I thought you did a great job. You had some risk management tools in there that were really good. And you have grown on all of us. And it's too bad there always has to be a winner and a loser. And I would just personally like to thank you for everything. I know I told Ruthie yesterday that I was not a big salmon fan, so the first thing I saw was coming out salmon at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was like, oh God. But the salmon was great, and I ate all of it, so that would be something my wife would be pleased with. So, but anyway, I'd like to say thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
We're excited! Yeah, we're excited. Overwhelmed,
Yeah.
excited, nervous.
My mom made a noise I'd never heard before.
The On the Green folks loved the team they had put together, the plan they'd had, their vision of the concept of what the restaurant could be was phenomenal.
The finalists today were incredible. You know, when you start a project like this, you know, the biggest fear is what if we throw a party and nobody comes or the wrong guests come. The right people showed up to our party, which is a wonderful thing.
It was it was really nice. It was a nice conversation. The questions they were asking us were wonderful, valid questions.
Valuable.
That we had. And valuable questions that we could then put in our information bank for the future. And you know, it's really kind of a nice. I cannot say anything negative about being in this position. Except
Karen probably needs a job in show business to some extent, and you know, she's an amazing chef, but she's also so personable. And you know, that was really appealing to a lot of people.
getting to the semifinals was the cool part, and going further was just fun.
Well, thank you. Thanks to Oskaloosa and everyone else.
Yeah, thanks very much.
On the Green, they just kind of grabbed me from the very beginning. I saw their video online before I even knew I was going to be a judge, and saw their menu, which I was real excited about with all the fresh food and the different stuff.
That's what we were really looking for. We really want someone here that wants to be in the restaurant business and want to really provide a good experience for the community. Then we tasted their food today, and it was very, very well conceived and put together and very tasty.
Very proud of the work that we have all done and the work that we're going to continue to do, and we're proud on the Green today. You can use that one.
TM. Proud on the Green TM.
Trademark it.
Next, Iowa's Best Bite takes an inside look at On the Green. Stay tuned.
Welcome to On the Green. Let me show you around.
So in this room, we did a lot of changes, actually. We changed the floor and we put carpet tile in. You see that we repurposed a lot of the booths that were in the dining room before. One of the most interesting parts of this room, in my opinion, are the tables that our architect and some of his carpenter relatives and friends helped build. You can see that we have ceiling clouds that we put in to absorb some of the sounds. The wall that we have to the right is actually fiberglass tiles that we have hung and we've actually taped it and painted it so that it actually looks seamless, but they are individual tiles that we placed up there.
And really what we're going for in this room is, you know, it used to be a bar. And we thought by moving the bar to the other room and locating this as a centralized dining area, it gives you a feel of a family dinner, or removing the TVs and things like that really gave us the opportunity to create a true dining experience for people.
So in this room, you'll see that we have relocated the bar so that it actually helps the flow of our service. We have a server station located directly across from the bar here as well. We really were going for a sports bar type of feel in this room. We have a state-of-the-art tap system here. We have 12 beers on tap, and we're really dedicated to bringing craft beer. We have relocated our keg cooler downstairs so that we have short lines that helps ensure the freshness of all of our beer as well. We have wine coolers so that we can keep red and white wine at the appropriate temperature. And we actually are continuing to build additions to our bar area and to our server stations.
We've actually really been surprised on how many people really in Oskaloosa wanted a sports bar, and we're really glad we were able to deliver that. So, And so this is my new kitchen, or I guess our new kitchen. As you can see, we did a huge addition to it, which is allowing us to give our customers a better experience, allowing us to do a lot more prep. We added a walk-in cooler that Shayna and I and a couple other guys built, so we're pretty proud of that. It's all for being able to provide better food or good food and good service. And so, as you can see, we have a new pass-through table so that we can keep food warm. And we have a 10-burner stove, we have a new grill, new flat top, all those things that will help us to create some delicious food.